Welcome back to the Celtics Nation Rise recap. I'm Griffin Aldrich. Alongside me, we got Carl McDonald, and your Boston Celtics have defeated the Milwaukee Bucks with a final score of 108 to 81. And as a lot of people will say tonight, the hospital Celtics beat the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. Carl, great game. Great game all around. No Jaylen Brown, no Jason Tatum, but Jason Tatum could be looming soon. We'll talk about that on this week's podcast. I know the eyebrow, Carl. But on top of that, known to me as Keita as well, having a huge game last night. But the hospital Celtics still ended up beating this Milwaukee Bucks team. But you know the drill. Initial thoughts, Carl, after this big win by the Boston Celtics.
Yet another great win from the Boston Celtics. Yeah, simple game here, but a great win because you're coming off of just beating the Philadelphia 76ers at home just 24 hours prior. And you're also going ahead and beating another rival in their own hometown, in their own arena, and doing so against their best player who had also just come back. So not only do you do that, but you're also spoiling the return of one of the best players, or the best player on this team, but also one of the best players in the entire league. So great to see the Boston Celtics handling business, not only doing so against Giannis, who again just came back, and doing so on his and his team's court, but also doing it without the likes of Neemias Queta and of course Jaylen Brown and of course Jason Tatum. It is always great to see the Boston Celtics winning, especially without some of their better players.
No, well said, Carl. Well said. I mean, tonight, I think we'll get into it in a little bit too, but Hugo Gonzalez game tonight. You also had Sam Hauser, and you got a lot of names tonight that really did it for the Boston Celtics. But it was just a fun one to watch, Carl. It was a fun one to watch, and you could see it was a dominant performance too. I don't know if we could just say that Bucks aren't just that team anymore, or if the Celtics just really showed out and took care of business. But Carl, if you wanted to go over the differentials tonight for the Celtics, because as you could see, tonight was a blowout.
Absolutely, and thank you again, Griffin. Yeah, of course, as we love to see when it comes to Boston Celtics victories or just in general with Boston Celtics games, the sea of green. We love to see that. Of course, we see a tiny bit of the dark green representing the Milwaukee Bucks. The first quarter, they were actually dominating us, but we were able to pull through and figured out how to not only finish that quarter strong, but eventually with that win too. We beat him 30-20. We then take that momentum into the second quarter, pretty close there, and same thing with the third quarter as well, going from 27-23 to 26-22. Yet, of course, it was in the fourth quarter where essentially we were dominating the most, 25-16, only 6 lead changes, and it pretty much was a wire-to-wire victory for the Boston Celtics, as you described, Griffin, pretty much saying that this team was dominant throughout. The Milwaukee Bucks couldn't find any answers to go over the Boston Celtics, even with the recent return of Giannis. And of course, that really hurt the Bucks and again, really helped the Celtics into picking up yet another big dub.
No, well said. And you could also see on there, Celtics led by 31 in this game. But in addition to that, tonight, the Celtics did win the rebound battle once again tonight, 54-41. David's gonna love this one. We speaking of 41 rebounds for the Bucks, the Celtics are at 41 wins. So I know David. Should I do it for David? The power's out tonight for David. Should I give him the benefit of the doubt and do it?
You know what? Go ahead.
41.
Go
But
ahead. He
oh
deserves to
god,
be here.
we need David. David, join in with the power outage just for a second to give us a little 41. But really, what the Celtics won on tonight was the turnover battle. 16 turnovers for the Milwaukee Bucks and for the Celtics, only 10 turnovers. And also shooting wise, tonight the Milwaukee Bucks shot 36.5% from the field goal, and the Boston Celtics shot 43.2% from the field goal. And we'll get into this one soon, but also a familiar face really popping off for the Boston Celtics tonight, Pritchard, because he's been struggling, Carl. He's been struggling a lot, and that'll be a fun one to get into. But Carl, if you wanted to get into the Milwaukee Bucks stats, I know we're moving tonight, you guys. Going to be a short recap, but Carl, take your time with this one, though. Take your time with this one. What do we got from Milwaukee?
We'll try to take our time with this one. We handled business in Philly or against Philly, and we did it in Milwaukee. For Milwaukee stats, we have Giannis, of course, leading his team, doing so with 19 points, 11 rebounds, ending the game with a double-double. Additionally, with another 2 assists and 1 block on nearly 40% in shooting. Then you have Dang putting up 13 points, also picking up 2 assists, and he was on 50% in shooting. And then you have Bobby Portis Jr. putting up 12 points on 57% in shooting. And other than that, those were the only players on the Bucks in double digits. Really doesn't do too much for this team, unfortunately, especially when you're going up against this incarnation of the Boston Celtics, especially without some of their better players. Everybody else was in single digits, the likes of Sims, Turner, Rollins, Harris, you name it. Anybody else that isn't named Portis, Dang, or Giannis really wasn't getting it done for this team tonight.
And I want to mention something, Carl. I always was a big fan of Miles Turner, but looking at the stats they showed before the game this season, I 10 out of 10 love Vucevic on this team over Miles Turner. Tonight had 5 points, 4 rebounds, as you alluded to, how, it was only those few players. But, I think it's a total win for the Celtics because even like Miles Turner has been a name, you've always seen up in rumors for the Celtics at some point in time because I swear in Indiana, he wanted to go anywhere but Indiana. But what do you think about that? I love having Vucevic opposed to like a Miles Turner. Like I love that. I don't know why I love it so much, but just looking at the stats and the overall fit, I think it's better than if we even had a Miles Turner. Just a random thought, but what are your thoughts on it?
No, you're absolutely right on that. When it comes to Miles Turner, I feel like ever since he's gotten on this team, he really hasn't lived up to the expectations of, what the Bucks were looking for, especially with them giving him a lot of money, to come over. And this is also coming after a 10-year run with the Pacers and in his last run with that team, going all the way up into the finals. So definitely they thought they would, be signing somebody who could really help out Giannis and just in general this team to potentially do something in the playoffs. But it doesn't look like that. It's not to say that he's the worst player in the world, but he's just not getting it going. It's one of those things where he's made that transition, hasn't really worked out, and weirdly enough, this is kind of something that has followed the Bucks for the last few seasons. There was him, of course. There was Damian Lillard, who wasn't really the same player he was as opposed to when he was in Portland. In general, of course, when you're looking at Miles Turner, you're also thankful of getting a Vucevic, somebody who's also been very productive for us. Obviously, not playing the same he, is playing when he was in Chicago, but still very much productive, still very much a big help, a great backup big for us, especially when we really needed it. Yeah, if you were to ask me, even before, we made that trade, I would take Vucevic before Turner any day.
Yeah. It's just you're right. He really hasn't been able to do it there. And I gotta shout out David there. Even if we were in the dark, David, a little 41. But I do agree. I think that the offensive foul on Ron Harper Jr., I think that was a little absurd. Just saying, but gotta give it to him. And I have to say, Dieng Carl, I actually saw play in the G League against the Maine Celtics in the G League finals, crazy enough. So that was fun to watch him play. And it was interesting. It was interesting. And do you want to hear who else played in that game? Actually, 2 players. Any guesses? But for the Celtics.
Uh, I know Kata was there.
Yep,
Or
Cato was there.
Kata was there. Hold on, hold on, hold on. I give up.
Jordan Walsh.
Okay, okay.
Jordan Walsh and Kata were playing that
Hmm.
game. It was funny enough. Um, But that was a fun game, even though we got mopped up. Oh, that was
We
rough. That
did.
was rough.
We
Maybe it
did.
wasn't much of a fun game. Oh, we got
One
blown
more
out. But
game and we would have won the title.
no, but the actual Celtics won the championship, so that's all that
Hey,
matters. The main
hey,
Celtics
hey.
would have been nice. It would have been nice. Both the G League and the actual oh my gosh, that would
Just
have
a
been
flex, just another flex.
not only did our team win the championship, our G League team won the championship. How does that taste?
I would
Ah,
take
that
that.
would have
I
been
would
nice.
take that.
But for the Boston Celtics tonight, Amari Williams and Shulga and Tanji all came in at the end, all had 2 minutes. Nothing much other than that. I was hoping to see Shulga's maybe first points, still hasn't got that. But Amari Williams did get a rebound. And then next up on our list, Jordan Walsh, who I just mentioned, had 7 rebounds, 1 assist, and almost had a crazy play over Giannis Antetokounmpo, but couldn't finish. And our boy Ron Harper Jr. As you mentioned, Ron Masterclass. I loved his game tonight, and Carl, I really think we could see a contract coming. I really do. I really think a contract's coming up. I mean, tonight played 15 minutes, 6 points, 1 rebound, 1 steal, 2 blocks, shot 66.7% from the field goal. Oh, David's gonna love that one too. David's gonna love that one. But he had a 3 earlier in the game. Obviously, they did the replay with that offensive foul, and then had another 3 later in the game. But if they kept him playing, he could have had a phenomenal game. But again, I think a contract is coming up. Then Bonfire Baylor tonight with 10 points, 6 rebounds. Thumbs up. I mean, thumbs up. 1 assist, 1 steal, and shot 50%. Carl, we gotta do it for him. We gotta give it thumbs up. Thumbs up. That's our gonna
Always
be
and
our
forever. Always and forever.
Bonfire Baylor. Thumbs up. Then we had Sam. So now you're kind of creeping into CNR MVP range, but I don't think was quite there. Sam Hauser tonight, 14 points, 4 rebounds, assist, a steal, and a block. Shot 55.6% from the field goal. Homecoming for Sam Hauser, had a good game, and Vucevic also got the start. And I believe was this his first start for the Boston Celtics? I believe it was, right, Carl?
I believe so. If not, then he might have started a game before that. Could be
I
wrong,
think,
but yeah, it could
yeah.
have been his first.
But tonight, I mean, in 26 minutes, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 block, and shot 41.7% from the field goal tonight. Now, I think we're in CNR MVP range as Luka Garza tonight with in 20 minutes, 7 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist, and then shot 50%. I thought he was phenomenal tonight, and we give him a little shout tonight. I think he deserves a little mention. Also in mention tonight, Derek White tonight, who had 18 points, 1 rebound, 9 assists, a steal, and shot 27.8% from the field goal. That's my only turnoff, how his shooting percentage was so low, but had a positive 31 in the plus minus category. So gotta love that one. But then next up is Peyton Pritchard, who had 25 points, 4 rebounds, 9 assists, and shot 43.5% from the field goal. Phenomenal game tonight, stepped up. But the man, the myth, the legend, Hugo Gonzalez, who got the start tonight, in 35 minutes had 18 points, 16 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 steals, 2 blocks, had a 27 plus minus, shot 46.7% from the field goal. And the last person to have a stat line like that at that age is Larry Bird. Funny enough, they said on the broadcast. CNR MVP voting, Carl, I want to go first. When you're mentioned in Larry Bird categories, you deserve a CNR MVP. And I'm going Hugo Gonzalez tonight, a double-double, 18 points, 16 rebounds. I was blown away by the 17 rebounds by Keita last night. And Ugo comes out tonight and gets 16. He was crazy causing turnovers, causing defensive fouls on the Bucks. I thought that was very impressive. I loved Hugo Gonzalez play tonight. So I'm going Hugo Gonzalez for CNR MVP. But Carl, who are you going with for your CNR MVP? Because there's a lot of choices tonight. There's a lot of choices, I gotta say. Hugo is a popular name, but there's more choices too.
Absolutely, Griffin, and you're right. And you know what? Again, was going to bait you into this, and I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to say Hugo Gonzalez, the boy wonder, the kid plus minus, the kid green, whatever nicknames we can come up with this kid. We need more nicknames for this kid because he deserves all the recognition in the world. As you mentioned, double double, 16 rebounds, and you're doing that as a guard. And you're doing this coming off of, again, beating the Philadelphia 76ers in a similar fashion. And of course, the night before, Keita doing that with his own double double and his own career high as well. And you're essentially repeating that, but with another player who also was overlooked, who was, in this case, picked up in the second round very late. This kid was never really supposed to be seen as a guy who is going to be important to this team's development and overall success, but he has shown otherwise. I've always been invested in Hugo Gonzalez after seeing his highlights from Madrid and seeing his game translating over very well to the modern NBA. Is just really cool to see. He contributes very well to this victory and other victories before that. Hugo Gonzalez deserves CNR MVP. What else can you say about this kid aside from he's just oozing greatness right now?
I like Kid Green. I like Kid Green. I think
Agreed.
that's so Kid Green gets your CNR MVP tonight for the third time in his season and gets against the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, tonight the stat line shows it. I mean, the game just shows it. I think Pritchard really popped off in the later quarters, but overall, Hugo Gonzalez, when they built up this lead at first, that it narrowed down, but Hugo Gonzalez is the one who I think was most effective when they built it up and was very important in this game and stepping up, a great piece to step up. So third CNR MVP on the season. But Carl, I know early one tonight, but what do you got for final thoughts before we close out tonight?
Just again, great to see the Boston Celtics playing in the way that they're playing. We are 61 games into the season. We have 21 games left. We have won the majority of these games. Very excited to see how the rest of this season is going to pan out. And of course, the speculations are starting once again. In a few days' time, we could be seeing the return of number zero himself. And how fitting would it be for him to go up against the team that he beat in the finals to become an NBA champion alongside the Celtics? Would be very great, would be excellent. And if it doesn't happen, there's still an opportunity for it to still happen this month or the next month. But at some point in time, I believe he will be back before this season's end.
And for David, I'm going to vouch for David. His game is coming up next on
It
Wednesday
is.
against the Charlotte Hornets. So that's one to keep your eyes peeled for. I mean, all the major people are saying Dallas, 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 and that'd be interesting having him go up against Cooper Flag, who Cooper Flag idolized him. I mean, it's a fun game. I mean, I think everyone thinks this is the Tatum game, unless all the Mainers are just buying tickets for the Celtics game, because I just peeked at it. I'm like, I don't have any money right now, but let's see if there's a cheap ticket. No, balcony are like 150. Come on, man.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, Carl. So I think the fans even think Tatum's coming back for this one. Maybe it's just the Mainers trying to go see Cooper Flag, but we never
fair.
know. We never know. But you're right, Carl. We're coming up on it. We're coming up on it. But also, you guys could join us on Wednesday, as that's another game that David, our own, speculated that Tatum could return. So come join us in on Wednesday. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications to be notified every time we upload. And when Jason Tatum does come back, we will let you know here on the Celtics Nation Rise account. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you guys with the next one. Peace, you guys.
Later.